Hey guys, I'm Curtis and I am on the lead team of Anthem Young Adults, and I get the privilege to continue our series on Job. I'm gonna start by asking you a question if you've ever been called out, and I believe we've all been called out. I especially have been called out because I do a lot of stupid stuff. I'm gonna give you some examples about me getting called out and you'll get a kick out of it. One time we were playing basketball in my front yard of my parents' house, and they had their vehicle parked close by, and I thought it'd be a funny idea to body check our neighbor kid into the vehicle. So I did that, and it left a massive imprint in the vehicle. It completely dented in. And so I had to tell my parents, hey, I dented your vehicle and I'm really sorry. And they had to call me out being like, hey, Curtis, you can't be doing stuff like that. You have to think before you do stuff. And another time, had the idea of why don't we launch a hockey ball over the house, and whoever can get it fully over the house wins. So my friend was all like, that sounds fun, I could do that. First thing he does is launch the ball right through our front window. And I had to again confess to my parents and tell them what happened. And they called me out by saying, Curtis, why are you being foolish? What were you doing? Also, my dad told me to fill the bottom of our basketball hoop with gravel and sand and maybe put some water in it. And I told him, I could for sure do that. That seems easy. And I didn't. And the next day I woke up and the basketball hoop actually fell over on our neighbor's vehicle. And I had to talk to my parents, and they again called me out and said, Curtis, you said you were gonna do it. If you say you're gonna do it, you should probably do it. And now we have to pay for the damage on the vehicle. So I've been called out many times, and I believe this refers really well with the passage we're gonna be talking about in Job. And today we're gonna be looking at Job 32 to 37, where this kid named Elihu, who has just been sitting there kind of listening to Job, talk to his friends and seeing what Job's going through. And he's sitting there waiting for his moment. He wants to call out Job, and he's getting angry, he's getting frustrated. And then all of a sudden he gets his moment, and he kind of brings a new thought into this whole process. And he explains to Job that he believes that Job isn't necessarily being punished because he's a sinner, and that misfortunes of the world are just because we live in a sinful world, and that God may be actually strengthening him through this process. And he seems kind of frustrated at the way Job's been treating the whole process of how he's been dealing with this trial. He's angry and frustrated with him. And I'll show you what Elihu says here in Job 33, 28 to 30. He says, he has redeemed my soul from going down into the pit, and my life shall look upon the light. Behold, God does all these things twice, 3 times with a man, to bring back his soul from the pit, and that he may be lightened in the light of life. Elihu has this revolutionary thought of maybe Job isn't being punished. Maybe he's actually being built up. Maybe he's being strengthened. Maybe he's being he's learning through this process. And Elihu kind of explains to Job that later on in the chapter that we can't fully understand why these things happen. We can't fully understand God's ways. And this really reminds me of one of my favorite passages in James 1, 2 to 4. It says, count it all my joys, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds, for you know that the testing of our faith produces steadfastness. And let steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. It's important that we understand in this verse that this joy does not come through our circumstance, through our situation, but it actually comes through Christ. And that I believe Elihu and James are kind of saying the same thing, is that we can learn through these trials, we can be built up through these trials, we can be strengthened, and that it's not a punishment of if we've sinned. Job's foolishness of how he's reacted to this situation is a demonstration of how we choose how to respond to situations in life. We don't always get to choose the situation that we're in, but we do get to choose how we respond to the situation that we're in. We can take comfort in these situations and look to Jesus and know that He is through us always when we're going through these trials. And as you're going through these weeks, this next week, I want to ask you 2 questions just to think about. What am I struggling with in my life? And where is Jesus working through these struggles? All right, I love you all, and I hope you have an amazing week.